This is my 2015 GMC Sierra 3500 HD. The headlights it came with flat suck. It's like driving with two flashlights taped to your hood. If you got a 2015, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I wanted brighter headlights, and I'm really not a fan of aftermarket made in China garbage. So I installed GM HID projector headlights with the LED signature meant for a 2016 model. I also installed the wire harness that goes between the BCM and the headlights and all the sensors up front, meant for the same model. And the plan was to go over to the dealer and have them reprogram it so that everything would work. Turns out their programming whiz was at the doctor. It happens, so I'll get it programmed next week. Got everything in place. When I hit the unlock button and it's dark, everything comes on, works the way it should. With the engine running, when I turn on the headlights, the HID bulbs just flicker out. LED signature and marker lights work fine, just no headlights. I need my truck for work and I need to drive at night. So when I got back from the dealer at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, I called GEN5DIY.com. They sell a number of wiring harnesses that are aftermarket. They hand make them. They're very nice quality, plug and play for OEM function. When I take this back to the dealer next week, it'll be really easy to unplug 2 plugs and plug the factory harness back in. If they can program it, great. If not, I have no problems using this GEN5DIY harness. I just prefer using OEM. Let's get started. Step 1 should always be disconnect that negative cable. Don't want to set off any airbags. Don't want to have any issues. Let's start by removing this plastic shield. All of these little push clips need to be removed. These little clips are pretty easy to remove. There's a special tool for it, but you don't really need one. Slip your screwdriver up underneath the edge of it, pry up the center section, and then the whole piece will pop out. When you put it back in, push this piece in and then push that down to lock it. With all of the clips removed, this panel will just lift right up and off of there. See where the driver's side headlight plug is. You want to squeeze in with your thumb on this tab right here to release it. Here's the harness. Here's the relay pack. This goes on the driver's side. This goes to the fuse block. This is a headlight plug. The one with the shorter section of wire on it goes to the driver's side. Longer section goes to the passenger side. And this one will go to the battery. I'm going to start by putting a little bit of dielectric grease in the female connectors on both sides. Make sure the octopus's arms are separated. I'm going to plug this, squeeze the plug in to where we just unplugged the other plug from the headlight. With the headlight plugged in, I'm going to take the OEM harness and plug it into the other end of the GEN5DIY harness. That all plugged in nice and neat. Now I just need to route this wire across the top. Just get this towel out of the way.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
What the? Just got the wires laying across the top for now. I had a K&N air filter on this thing when I bought it. I haven't gotten rid of it yet. But it made it easy to remove this panel from behind the headlight. Just a few of those little Christmas tree clips. And the headlight plug was just below it. Same thing as the driver's side. Plug the GEN5DIY harness into the headlight. The OEM harness into the GEN5DIY harness. Just tuck everything up nice and neat. Put the cover back on. So I ended up routing all the wires underneath these support brackets all the way around. All right, let's pull the cover off the fuse block. There's these 2 tabs right here. Prime back, pull this up, and then forward. These little locking tabs slip under here. So we're looking for fuse number 50. It's gonna be this one right here. And it says over here, it is a O2 sensor and it's a 15 amp fuse. So looking at the map, it's going to be this one right here. So I'm just going to pull out fuse number 50 and insert the little power rod and deal with 2 fuses on here into the same slot. Just route it through the fuse block here. And if you look at the cover, you'll see that there are 4 recessed areas around each corner. You can run the wire underneath that so that the cover will close securely with that wire running underneath it. Just like that. Since this might only be a temporary install for me if the programming works, I'm just going to zip tie them onto the wiper fluid hose and the hood release cable here on the fender well. That works. This is probably just because of the direction I'm routing it a little bit farther forward, but I don't have quite enough length to get to the positive post on the battery, so I'm just going to extend the cable. This GEN5DIY harness is pretty high quality, and I didn't want to have any issues with it. So I soldered the connection, heat shrunk it with these connectors I have that have glue on the inside of them, put a heat shrink ring terminal on there, wrapped it in split loom, and then I'm going to wrap it in this Scotch Super 88. It's flame retardant, high temperature up to 221 degrees, heavy duty electrical tape. I'm removing this bracket just for the purpose of this video, so it's a clear picture. You probably get away without removing it at all. Just get it up and out of the way. Loosen this nut. I'm going to route this positive cable in between the overflow bottle and the power distribution block here. Pull this nut off of here, slip the ring terminal on, tighten it back down. That way this cover will slip right over the top and this will slip right underneath it. So it goes on just like this. Nice and tight. Alright, well, I've got all the wires in place. Put this grill back in. These connectors go in same way they came out, basically. Push it in, push the middle down. Hook that negative back up. Now in the dark, when I unlock it, marker lights but no headlights. Marker lights work, headlights work, start the engine, and now the marker lights and headlights will only work together. You can't separate them independently. High beams work. Shut them off and on. Turn on the fog lights, it kicks everything on. Turn the engine off, and you can have independent use of the marker lights. This is running in gear, and that's the lower driving light LED on just the way it should be. When the doors are unlocked in the dark using the remote, everything comes on the way it should. I now have factory HID with LED signature headlights in my truck, and I can see at night. Click on the video link in the corner to watch the installation of the Morimoto LED projector fogs, and please subscribe. Thanks for watching.